We are back live from Satellite 5 for the BKFC show. It's going to be another great show as always. As always, a lot to talk about. I have my main man with the plan. He eats T-bone steaks. He lifts barbell plates, and he's sweeter than a German chocolate cake. Rod's hanging out today, too.
What's up, Ryan? How you doing, buddy?
Always good to see you rocking the Phillies,
man. Always, man. Hometown love.
Dig it. So a lot to get into today. Tons. I know that we're going to talk about that brawl at the Canelo press conference. I'm excited. Wow. I watched that, right?
Yeah.
What about Manny Pacquiao? Prime Minister, President, something will probably win. People love him.
He's got my vote.
Me too. I love that guy. There's so much to get into. We have special announcements regarding the BKFC, some signings, some stuff we're going to revisit. It's all here today. We're going to talk about, it was the luller, the weight change. What was that?
I know.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, too. You want to start with that one?
Yeah, let's hop right into that, man.
You know more about that than I do, so let's talk about the Lower Diaz weight change. What's going on with that, Rob?
Diaz is, I guess, asking for a higher weight. I thought this guy has the cardio of a champ, and that's telling me that he can't make weight. I think Lawler agreed to it, so they're fighting at a higher weight class.
So, Rob,
I'm interested in that.
asking
We gotta
for-
hold on. I don't think we
Stop,
announced a surprise guest.
right now.
We just hopped in.
couldn't wait. I was going to give you a big no. Stop. I was going to give you a big
because
no.
I just want to know what made you think he can't make weight because he wanted to go up a weight. That made you think he can't make weight, Rob?
That's about right. It's pretty my detective ability on that one for sure.
See, that's how it goes when you have Dave Feldman on, president of BKFC. We're going to give a big intro. I had something planned, and he just jumps in.
I'm
and
sorry.
No, it's fine, man. It's good. I'm glad you're
No,
here
because
today.
I'm a little pissed off. I got to be honest with you.
What are you pissed off about?
Because you guys stuffed me in the damn corner.
That's the captain's corner
I got
over
to
there,
be
man.
honest. It's not the captain's corner. You can't even see me.
Can you hear me over there, Dave? We're glad you're here
What's
today,
up,
man.
guys, man? Thanks for having me again today.
Yeah, it's cool. Thanks for allowing us to have a show, Prez. Without you, we don't have it. So a lot of stuff going on. We're also going to talk to, I should have said this earlier, Christine Ferea today. A lot of people wanting to see her fight. Now she's got to fight, and you don't know what she's going to say. I'm kind of glad the president's in the room as well to see what she's going to say, and you'll be able to talk to her as well, Dave, and Rob, too.
Just call me Dave. I don't like being called president.
I would force everybody to call me. I'd make them call me doctor, too. I'm not even a doctor. It's just, the clout you get with that. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to talk to her today as well. But before we get to her, that's coming up around 12:20ish. We have that scheduled for, so you know. Let's keep going and talk about, aside from the weight change, I saw the clip online. Canelo, man, do we need to see the fight?
Yeah, so
Right?
So breaking that down a little bit. Excuse me. Throat's falling apart. Breaking that down a little bit. Apparently, Canelo, some bad words about his mother, which he initiated the push at the presser, which resulted in.
Oh, is that why the push happened? I was wondering. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and Plant threw he attempted to throw a strike.
So wait a second. Plant said something about Canelo's mother?
Yeah, so Canelo put on Twitter, "Don't talk about my mother."
So because I heard from Plant, who in his interview afterwards, I think his mother died when he was 2 years old, and he said, I would never bring up someone's mother. I think he was in defense that he said, I would never bring up someone's mother because I don't want someone bringing up something to my mother and sparking that. So, I mean, maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but, I don't know. But, I mean, I think we're getting two sides of the story here.
Yeah. You are. And, I mean, if you bring us back to BKFC, if you remember, when you promote a fight, it's one thing. You're going to talk about your opponent. You're going to talk about their skill set. But then you kind of venture outside. Excuse me, my throat also today. As Josh Burns and Chris Sara, we saw that. It pissed Josh off because you're talking about his family. You're bringing his family into it. And I feel like that adds some extra fuel to the fire. And I can't say that if somebody was talking about my family, I'd probably want to go with them too as quick as I could. So if that is true, I understand it. But as a fan and enjoying watching it and getting viral sensations, they're doing great because it's been everywhere you're looking on social media.
Well, right now it's a 10-9 round Canelo. He already drew first blood, man. He's got a couple of cuts in front of his left or right brow? Right brow.
Did Plant land that left slap?
No, man. He slipped that.
He didn't?
He slipped
so
that.
I also saw a picture, if Brandon can dig it up, I saw a picture that he actually did land it. And I wasn't sure because at first,
on the video,
in the slow motion, it looks like he missed it, but then I thought he landed it. The funny thing about Caleb Plant is he actually fought for me when I was promoting boxing a few times at the Sands Casino in Bethlehem,
right,
Pennsylvania. Yeah.
I think I remember that. I remember that. I saw the video as well. I didn't see the still you're talking about, but to me, he didn't connect with the slap. I thought he missed him by a decent amount.
I thought so.
I'd love to see the picture if we can find it. But
when is that fight? Do we know that date on that?
No, November 6th.
Oh, November. Sorry, November. Don't listen to me. I'm an idiot. November 6th. I was going to say October 6th. That's not it. November 6th. I know I'll be tuned in. You're going to be tuned in.
Oh, yeah.
Dave.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to, right? When Canelo fights, you got to watch, especially when they get you.
I'll be tuned in after BKFC.
That's right. After. Is that the same date that I collide them?
Yeah, but
Let's not talk about this.
We are going early. And we are going early, and we have the fight at night afterwards. That's the package in the fight. Our fight, and then the Canelo fight's going to be shown afterwards.
Oh, I didn't know we were going to do that. That's awesome. See, that's why I always say BKFC, like, we care about the sport. Awesome. We care about combat sports and the fans. We don't want to gyp you from one thing. Here I am yelling, let's not talk about those fools then, because we want to promote our fight and you get the president. Sorry, Dave.
I'm sorry.
Saying that we're going to show it as well. All right, here we have a still picture here that we were talking about with the Canelo thing here.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, or video. I don't know what we have up here.
Did he land? I can't see.
We got
did he land or not?
Yeah.
No, this is from Caleb.
Eye.
Caleb's got the cuts underneath his right brow.
Oh, it is his right brow. Yeah.
Can you dig up the slap?
I don't know if we can show that. That might be a.
No, I mean the
picture.
Still.
In the comments, I'd love to know in the comments if you think here's a still. That's the only still we have right now. But in the comments, talking about the slap, did you see it like some other people saw it that said it got landed? I didn't see it get landed. We'd love to know what you think. And I can't see the comments, but I will say hi to Big Ben because I know he's here. Hi, Big Ben. He never missed the show. And the Enforcer as well. And everyone who tunes in. But I didn't think he landed it. Anyway, more excited to see this fight than ever as we see things like that. There's so much other stuff to get into aside from this, including, now this is huge, Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao. Dave, would you vote for Manny Pacquiao?
I think so. I mean, look. The thing that a lot of people don't know about Manny Pacquiao, I mean, he always has a good guy hat on, but you know what he did a lot of times after his fights? He would grab bags full of money. He would sit on the street corner and give them out to all the homeless people and all the people that needed it. I mean, he's such a good dude, man. So, I mean, on that respect, I definitely would vote for him. I don't know how much he knows about the politics in Philippines, but, I mean, he has all great intentions, and he knows everybody. So
yeah, and everyone seems to love him. I mean, universally in the Philippines. So he probably has a chance. I don't know anything about him politically either, but I know if he's handing out money, I'm going to go to every one of his fights and go searching for him. Does he really do that? You've heard that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. 100%.
That's incredible.
Yep.
That's incredible. Rob, how about you? What do you think about that? Manny Pacquiao?
Definitely has my vote, man.
Yeah?
I know he's already into politics. He was kind of going back and forth between his fighting career and I think he was a statesman, but he's running for president 2022. It's official. Yahoo
he was
News,
congressman.
USA News.
He was congressman.
Yep.
I remember him saying Congressman Pacquiao.
That's got to be cool. If you go into fighting, and I don't know, I don't want to speak for him, but you go into fighting thinking, I'm a fighter, and he's an amazing fighter, right? And then you do something you're passionate about. Obviously, you wouldn't be doing it. Why would you do politics if you weren't passionate about it and you wanted to help?
And this, and I'm gonna quote him on his gangster ass speech right now. In his acceptance speech, he called for political corruption in his country to end. He said, "All corrupt politicians will soon be in jail together." My man. He's got my vote.
Wow. Are you going to do the mail-in vote?
Swamp.
Drain the swamp. That's what Evan says. Yeah. Are you going to do the mail-in vote for him? How are you going to vote?
I'm going to do a mail-in. I'm going to send
you guys
in 12
didn't
ballots.
know that he was a Philippine citizen, Rob?
What's that?
I knew that.
Yeah.
Rob's a Philippine citizen.
Oh, Rob is?
Me, yeah.
Did you come over here, Rob?
I have a dual citizenship.
Dual citizenship.
Sweet, man. We put a vote in for Pacquiao for me, too. He seems like a good
it,
guy. Okay. You probably could, too. Who knows? So much other stuff to get to today, including, don't forget, Christine Ferea coming up. She's got a big fight on the way, and we're excited about it. It's been like over a year since we've seen her.
Way
and
too
she's
long.
going to be rearing to go, not only on the interview, but in the fight. I mean, this woman, we've seen her time and time again, the misfit, with good reason. She instills fear in the division, I feel like. Nobody would fight her. So we got somebody to fight her, and we're going to talk to her about that as well and why this person's fighting her. That's coming up, by the way, bkfc.com, so you can get in if you don't have the app. You're going to want to see this fight. It's a great card. We're looking forward to it. She comes on around 12:20. And when we do these interviews, it's nice because a lot of times, usually, Rob, it's me and you, and I think we do a bang-up job. I think we have some good questions and we have great conversation. But it's going to be a different element now because the president, he doesn't like being called that, sorry, Dave is in the room, in the corner.
Well, look, you guys know that when the ratings slip, you bring me in, boost the ratings, and then you kick me back out.
Yeah, in and out, in and out. I mean, watch, it'll go whoop, the analytics go way up for some reason. I don't know if they like the spectacularness of you.
Where's the slap?
It's what? What do you have?
The slap. Can you guys film in
Oh,
on
you
that?
have the slap.
Oh, yeah.
Go a little closer to the
Go
camera.
closer to the camera. Don't fall out of your chair.
you go.
This is the slap picture. I can barely see it.
Yeah.
Oh, it does kind of look like it's connecting.
Just go on, it's on like Showtime's Instagram.
Yeah, just
That was courtesy of Bernie, our PR guy. Thank you, Bernie.
Bernie, always watching. We
Shout out,
appreciate
Bernie.
you, Bernie. Thank you, my man. Chicago, right? Mm-hmm. It's also where Arnold Adams is from, and he's got some big stuff coming up here in BKFC too. Another BKFC fight night. I believe it's New York. Main event, Arnold Adams versus
man.
Joey Beltran. And we're going to talk about that later as well. I mean,
Going to tell the whole crowd to suck his entire
beep.
shoelaces.
Yeah, his shoelaces. That's it. But
You know who's working? I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
guys.
please.
I do this all the time, but
You
to
do.
you
That's
guys.
fine.
But you were talking about Nick Diaz earlier. You know who's working Nick Diaz's corner? I was just looking at my notes. Is Joe Schilling. Joe Schilling, a former Bellator guy,
Oh, really?
kickboxer. And he actually called recently with some interest in BKFC. I'd love to see what the fans think about Joe Schilling and BKFC.
Wait,
Schilling
Joe
calls.
Schilling, was that the guy that had the run-in at the bar? Does that
Yes.
name
I
sound
thought
familiar?
so.
He was our knockout of the week a couple months back. He was at BKFC 18.
That's
I think
that's one
incident-
man you don't push while walking past him at the
No,
bar.
you don't
and
even look
try
at
to
him.
Talk smack.
Don't even look
man.
at him. I'd like to see him fight for us. I mean, I'd always like to see, like I said, we read the comments. I don't always see him live, but I go back and look at him, and I know we put some weight in them because we respect you so much. I want to know what you think. Schilling, is that a signee? Do we look forward to signing him? Should we get him in here, BKFC? I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Me neither.
Be great.
Was he Glory Kickboxing? Was that where he
Glory
comes from?
kickboxing.
I
and
think so.
I think he fought Bellator. It's I mean, dude can fight. I just want to see what the fans think. If they
Well, the
like him,
fans are
if they
saying
wanna
Joe
see him.
Schilling specializes in bar fights. Maybe we get him and Conor McGregor together. That would be a barn burner right there.
Him and Connor. I wouldn't mind. They'll throw
What that
ashtrays
old man
and
that
buses.
took the shot, man. He sat there like a champ. It's like, nah, I ain't gonna drink your whiskey. Punched him in the face. He continued sipping on his beer.
Unbelievable, right? I would be on the ground. Speaking of being on the ground, Christine Ferea, I know she's in our virtual green room. Green room live at Satellite 5 here. We're going to get to her in a second. I wouldn't want to take a punch from her either. I actually have taken a punch from her, and it was like at half speed, and it hurt right in the stomach. We'll talk to her about that. It wasn't even half speed. It was like 3/4 speed. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see what she thought it was. If she
Was that the
remembers
same night you interviewed Arnold Adams?
no, that was another night. So I interviewed Arnold Adams. He attacks me. Then the next event, Faria punches me in the stomach, which she's got power, man. I'm so happy to have her on. You want to bring her in? Might as well. She's here.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Christine Ferea in the house. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Very good. Look at her. So, wait a minute. Before we even start, what does your shirt say?
So, Gado, I am God. She says she only fears God, but she doesn't know she's walking into my world.
Ooh, I've been following everything you're doing on Instagram. Very entertained by it, and I like some of your quotes that you say. We'll get into them a little later too. But she says she only fears God. You say you are God. I think the Beatles almost got canceled for doing that or something back in the day, right?
Yeah.
You don't care. You're Christine Ferea.
No.
So there's
Exactly.
a lot of good stuff coming up. Actually, we have a clip of the interview that we're talking about, so the fans can see if they haven't seen it. It's like 20 seconds. Let's check that out, then we'll get right back to you, Christine.
Okay.
Bueno, yo creo que yo traigo un aire nuevo, algo diferente. Soy una persona que no le temo solamente a Dios. Hay una muchacha que me dicen que se llama Christina Ferea. Nadie quiere pelear con ella, pero yo estoy aquí para hacerlo. Yo quiero pelear con ella y quiero demostrarle al mundo quién soy y que me conozcan.
So that's Kalista. That's the interview we were referring to. If you haven't seen it yet, it was on the BKFC Instagram. By the way, it's at Bare Knuckle FC. If you're not following, you can follow there. And she says she fears God, and you say you are God. It's going to be an interesting fight with you guys, especially the fact that you haven't fought. It's been like a year and a month. It's been longer than a year.
Where have
Yeah.
you been? What is going on?
Yeah,
the
what's
fans
up?
want to know.
So I had a surgery and I've been out for about a year and a month, just recovering from it, getting strong. I tried to come back early, but I'm glad I didn't because I wasn't 100%. I'm 100% now. I don't wake up with aches and pains anymore and my power's there. So I'm kind of glad that it got pushed out this far because now there's no excuses at all. And there's no way that this is going to get re-injured.
Well, you're talking about, you feel better physically. It's been a while since you fought. So physically is one thing, and it's great because we're going to see a different Christine come through, even stronger now because you haven't fought. But by what I can see on social media, you've been training nonstop. You didn't stop training at all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's.
No,
I feel like that's
didn't
part of your
stop
DNA.
training. Yeah, I even right after my surgery, they had me take some time off, and of course, I'm back early. I'm training with one arm. I was on the Stairmaster. I couldn't move because of the surgery they did, so I could just be on the Stairmaster. So I did all that until I can actually get in and hit and jar myself.
Well, let's talk about, aside from physical, you speak about that. I know a big part of it going into fights mentally, too. How are you feeling mentally from all the time off? Do you feel better? Do you feel frustrated because you wanted to come back and fight and something was holding you back? Where are you at with that?
Oh, no, I'm extremely frustrated. I have a lot pent up. This girl's going to have a lot on her plate. And no matter what, she comes in, she's a better boxer than me. She comes in, she's stronger, more powerful. It's not going to matter because I have so much inside of me. I have been going through a lot in my personal life, and I'm not going to let anybody beat me or take this from me. I cannot take another L in my life. It's not going to happen, period.
And I was just talking to Dave actually before we went on the air about this. It's funny you say that because when you hear the personal story, not just training, not just things like that, getting ready for the fight, but personally, what's driving you? Sometimes the person that is being driven more by something has more of a reason, and they come out on top, whether you expect them to or not. I think it's interesting you're saying that. Dave, you can speak to that more. We were talking about that.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's all about your story, your why. Like, why are you doing this, right? And I mean, if two people are equally skilled and train equally, and one person's why and the reason why they want to fight and the reason why they have to win is a lot stronger than the other person, then of course they're going to come out on top. But I mean, a lot of people have come in here in BKFC and been good boxers and thought that they could transition into bare knuckle, and they couldn't. And a lot of people have thought that they were going to get past Christine, and they didn't. So it's an upward battle for Callista, but it's going to be it looks like it's going to be a tremendous fight, but we'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
Callista, I mean, you look at her, she's been an active fighter since 2011, not in bare knuckle. She's making her bare knuckle debut. A lot of people saying online, I've been reading it, oh, well, Christine's fighting a debuter. I don't think you would take that any more lightly. I mean, she's been a boxer since 2011. If she learns the bare knuckle
this girl is more dangerous than everybody on the roster put together. So she has the power. She has the experience. She's fought 5 world champions. She's fought Amanda Serrano. She's fought Heather Hardy. She's fought everybody. I've looked up, and she goes to decision with everybody.
Yep.
So she's not getting beat. I mean, she's standing with the best in the world. And I'm not taking this fight lightly whatsoever. And I think it's a great matchup, and I appreciate the matchup. I appreciate her taking this on. It puts fire under me because I know this is a dangerous fight. This is going to be a war. This is going to be something. These are the fights that I live for. These are the fights that will expose who I am as a fighter, weakness and strengths. This is what I love to do. This is what I want. I don't want to run through somebody all the time. I want somebody who's going to who's going to check me, going to keep me honest in the ring, keep me honest in training. When I'm running and I want to stop, I want to be able to think this girl could knock me out. So I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to sprint harder. I'm going to not go out. I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to go do things that are going to affect my training and my mental. So I love this matchup. And if people are taking her lightly, that's insane. This girl is extremely experienced.
Yeah, it's foolish to take her lightly. A pro boxer, like I said, she's been around for a long time. And as you said, it goes to decision a lot of times with her. And you're saying you're looking for somebody to kind of stand up with you and fight. Do you think this will go to decision for you too? Is that what you're looking? Obviously,
absolutely not.
Knockout you're looking for.
Absolutely,
right?
It's either me or her. I don't trust the judges, so I don't care if I'm in the 5th round. I'm standing in the center and we're banging, or she's gonna have to look like she's weak and run, because we're gonna stand there and we're gonna bang. Regardless, I am not going to decision. I don't care if I go out that night or she does. Someone's going out.
This is getting me more excited to see the fight talking to you. I think Rob would say the same, Dave, as well. I love this kind of fire you have. I've missed you for a year. I know a lot of people have. And
I missed you guys.
Thanks. We're glad to have you back.
And sorry about the punches. I was a little intoxicated, to say the least.
I don't want fighters to come up and punch me randomly. Please don't do that.
But, I don't remember.
No. I don't want this to be like a trend. But I will say, I felt less than half of your power. You punched me in the stomach unexpectedly, and I felt it. And I've seen what you've been doing for training too. And you're obviously going like hell on your cardio. We have some clips of that, and where you're training at, it's absolutely beautiful.
GLX boxing, yes.
Oh man, no, I saw you running in the desert, run up this insane hill. We have a clip of that we can show you as we're talking about it. I've seen so much of your training. Cardio, have you upped your cardio more than normal? I feel like I'm seeing more of that on your feet, or you're just showing us more. I'm really usually pretty good on cardio, but I know this girl doesn't get tired at all. She does not get tired, and she has fight in her. So I'm not gonna chance me getting tired. So
whatsoever.
We have the control room. They like to interject. Evan's always got great questions.
No, it's more a technical thing.
Oh, what's up?
We're seeing the chat's complaining that there's not enough light on you, and it looks like you're in the witness protection program.
Can you? I kind of am, because I'm about to murder somebody.
That's awesome. Good. That's a great line.
If we could just get some more light on you before we get any great sound bites out of you.
Sorry, guys.
There we go. We'll let the chat decide if that's a little bit better.
Yeah, it looks great, man.
Sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. No, we appreciate that. Thank you. Look at that. Now we can see the gold around your
There we
neck.
go.
We can see you better. Look at this. Look at the shape you're in. Yeah, don't hide that, girl. Man, come on. So you've been working really hard, cardio, and
Yes.
I'd imagine, are you one of those fighters that does, I mean, I've seen your hand speed. I've seen everything, but are you one of those fighters that doesn't like to show their sparring videos and stuff? I know some fighters don't like that.
I show a little bit.
Yeah.
I show a little bit. Yeah, I don't like to really show sparring too much. I show a lot of training. I show a lot of my speed training, and I don't show, of course, my game plans and stuff like that. But
Now, I'm looking at you right
I
now.
don't care.
You can't see this, but I'm looking at you, and so is the audience. You're running up a hill. It looks like you're in like the mountains, and it's this insanely long hill. How many times a day do you do that? That's insane. And it's only part of it.
oh my God, that hill is brutal. So I'm cool until about 60, 70% up. And that's when it gets extremely it's like you can't breathe the whole way up. So that's why I like to do it. And then I do the stairs right after. So I do that
We have a copy of
about
that
10
too.
times.
Yeah.
And then I run the stairs up and down. Blah, 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 blah. And they're pretty steep.
So you're doing all that together.
I
at
just try to
once.
torture myself.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to happen. If it does go into later rounds, that's got to be beneficial for you to do that. And we know you have no problem getting hit or hitting. So we're looking forward to that.
No, absolutely not.
BKFC.com. Grab the app if you want to see this fight. It's going to be an awesome fight, an awesome card come up in Billings, Montana. Let's take a quick look at the female division, which you're a huge part of. People excited to see you come back. If you look at the female division, it's great. You look at the title picture, it's even greater. It's hotter. I mean, it's insane. You got Britton Hart in there, Taylor Starling, you. If we might be announcing something about it if she ends up coming back. I don't know if we officially signed her, but Beck Rollins, we'll talk about that later. You have all these talented fighters. So what I'd like from you, being who you are, is to go back and let's do this one by one. Let's do a word association here with each one of these fighters, how you feel about them as a fighter. So let's do first Britton Hart. We know what she's done. We know her war with Paige Van Zandt. How do you feel about Britton Hart if you end up fighting her?
You said one word?
No, you could just a sentence, whatever you feel.
Inflated confidence. 2 words.
That's fine.
She's on a winning streak. She's doing great. She's improving every fight I see. I'm ready to put her down again. I know there's a lot of stuff going on online. Her team saying she's number 1, I'm number 2. The thing is for her to get that number 1 spot, really, truly, she has to beat me. The way I beat her the first time was so easy. It was ridiculous. She didn't really even hit me once throughout the whole thing. And once I opened up and I did what I wanted. She curled up, she turned her back, she ran. You know what I mean? So if she really wants the respect and to solidify who she is, she needs to fight me, period. And I'm willing to fight her, even though I beat her so easily the first time. Just her saying it was a cut, they saved her life and her eyeball. So, that's all I got to say about Britton Hart.
We appreciate
right now.
your honesty. That's what we get with Christine Ferea. We love the Misfit. So that's great honesty. And I think a lot of people would concur with your statements there and would want to see that fight. So hopefully that happens one day. Let's talk about Taylor Starling. Taylor had that absolute war at Knuckle Mania that everyone was talking about that opened the show. Taylor seems to be working very hard to be improving. Great vibe when she comes to the show. Seems to love the fight game. Where are you at with Taylor Starling?
I like Taylor Starling. When I first seen her come out, I was like, damn, I love her style, her vibe, her energy. I feel like she's improving. I feel like she has a lot of heart. I think that she's star material. I think that her and I would be a great fight, but I do believe it'd be a massacre if I fought her.
Okay.
She's not ready for me.
Okay, well, hopefully we see that fight when she gets ready and she can have a nice fight with her. Let's talk about someone that a lot of people talk about, BKFC. She's had 2 fights, one Paige Van Zandt. How do you feel about Paige Van Zandt?
I want her to come train with me so I can help her.
That's really nice. You can help her. So what would you do to help her? What are the holes in her game that you've seen?
I just think that she needs to get in there with some boxers, some real boxers, and get her ass handed to her. That's what I think. I think that she needs just more intense training, and because this bare knuckle it's a different beast, and when you get hit, it's different. The clinch is different. Just the hand, just the volume of everything. And when you go in with a boxer, the volume and the movement, the head movement, everything's very different. And then you make it bare knuckle. It just makes it that much more intricate. So I just think that she needs someone a little bit more raw to work with her.
That'd be interesting
to introduce that.
I'm sorry to cut you off. That'd be interesting, especially someone like you with the talent you have. And you look at that too. Boxing, you got the gloves to protect you a little more. Bare knuckle. That's what we always say. These boxers come in. I always go to him. The Olympian Nico, I think it's Nico Hernandez.
Mm-hmm.
He came in, and Chancey was the underdog. And Chancey, if he didn't throw up, Chancey could have won that
great
fight. Yeah,
dude,
that was
I love that fight. I love that fight.
Me too. It proved that bare knuckle's a different beast than boxing. You can be a high-level boxer, and if you're not trained in bare knuckle, you're done. We've seen it time and time again.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
And those mistakes that boxers make are so deeply ingrained that it's going to be hard to shake that going into a bare knuckle fight. The defense, everything's so different.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, you got the gloves protecting you. You could probably throw more punches as a boxer because you have, it's not a pillow, but you have that in the tape. So you don't have to pick your shots as much. So I definitely agree there. Now, let's talk about, and I don't know if this is, I know there was some confusion about this. You might as well cover this now. Dave's in the room. We can talk to him. I don't want to speak out of turn here. Beck Rollins, I thought we signed her. Is she signed with us? What's going on with Beck Rollins, Dave?
Yeah, no, she's officially signed. We were negotiating back and forth. And she is back. We thought that the contract, or her management thought the contract was sent back, but it's officially sent back, so she is back. She will be fighting probably in December-ish. And then, like you said earlier, Brian, this women's division is just gonna heat up. And obviously we have a very confident fighter on the podcast right now that thinks that nobody is competition to her. So, and rightfully so. But at the same time, we got a lot of these women that are improving and hopefully can give good fights.
Yeah, I saw we just signed Jocelyn too. Jocelyn Jones, I believe it was. We just announced that. So that's going to be exciting to see her coming as well. So let's talk, since we know both of them are signed, before you get out of here. Let's talk Beck Rollins. You do a name association. How do you feel about her?
I think she's super tough. I think she'd be a super tough fight. I think she's very experienced with big fights, and I think that the composure level with her is a lot different than a lot of the other fighters. She has that experience under her, and huge crowds and big names. So coming in with her, she's super tough too, and she's not going to get put down easy. And she has experience, and she's got a tooth knocked out in this and kept going. Like, I see her spit it out. She's a beast. I would love to fight her. I respect her. Again, I think I'm going to come out on top with none of my fights going to decision again, just FYI. It's either going to be me or them. I don't care. I'm standing in the middle.
That's what we like to hear, man. The fans get pumped about that. We had 11, I'm sure you're watching, last month. We had 11 fights, 11 decisions. 11 finishes. And that's what we like to see. That was such an exciting event. So we're excited to see you, and you're just knocking people out like you're predicting here. I can't wait to see it. You had a quote I read that true happiness, I don't want to mess this up, comes from within. Hard work is where my happiness begins and ends. And I think that's very true when it comes to you. You seem like without fighting, you would kind of be lost. What would you be doing if you weren't fighting?
I would. I don't know. I don't even want to think of that.
You're Dave.
I don't know.
I'm kidding, Christine.
Yeah, I know. He's like, oh my God. He's like, we're going to keep her going to save the world.
Yeah, we have to keep her busy because you can find trouble pretty easily. And we got to keep you out of trouble and keep you in the ring and keep you fighting. The fans like you. And, we're going to see what happens in 2 weeks, man. I can't wait to see you back in the square circle.
Yeah, the only trouble.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you having me back.
That's right. We appreciate you coming on too. Unless Rob has, I feel bad, Rob. I've been so excited to talk to Christine.
You own this one, buddy.
Sorry, dude.
The only thing that I have is you had one of the best, not just female, just fights in general, one of the best BKFC fights of all time.
Yeah.
Helen Peralta.
Thank you.
You two actually went to war. For anyone that has not seen that fight, please download the app. You can watch it now. I believe it's on YouTube, but one of the best fights of all time.
Absolutely.
Is
There's
that
going to be another one, I promise. This is like almost like a Helen lookalike almost. I was like,
it's funny you said that. I was actually thinking about it. Helen Peralta came to mind. I'm like, not that they look exactly alike, but I mean, this is a girl. So
Close.
the same thing as you, like, you know, you have you have a fire inside of you right now while you're fighting. You know, you feel like you got shafted by us a little bit, but I know the real story that, you know, you were injured and then re-injured, and then we had a tough time finding an opponent. But I understand what the fans think. And, you know, she has a rough story as well. You know, coming from Colombia, not having a place to live, coming to Florida. You know, she's fighting for something too. So I really expect fireworks. But like I always say, when the boxers come in here, and I was telling you earlier, Brian, the great equalizer, I feel, is the Muay Thai clinch behind the neck, and
Big
then
time.
you start punching, and they're not used to that. So we'll see if she can get used to that. And if she can't, she's going to have a long, short night.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, on the last one, before we get out of here, you surely thought of this. You always think as a fighter you're going to win. That's your mentality. But if you look at this fight, I believe Knuckle Up was talking about this. You have more to. I mean, you have everything to lose. Excuse me. She has everything. I should say. You have it. Oh my gosh, fog brain. Not enough Tiger Life. You have more to lose than she does. She has a lot to gain here. Is that entered your mind at all headed into this fight? How that's going to make her fight harder, as Dave was just saying, kind of thing.
I mean, I think me and her are the type of fighters that just kind of go for it all the time. I've seen that she takes hard fights time after time after time after. She doesn't care. She's like me. We just we fight. We're fighters. So I think that absolutely she's going to give everything she's got. And I think for her first time being her first bare knuckle fight, it's going to be like fight or flight. And I believe she's going to fight. And I believe that when you're pressured and you're kind of backed in a corner, you fight harder. You fight for your life. So I expect someone to be fighting for their life that day, because I'm coming at her and she's not going to be able to breathe. I'm not going to stop. And she's going to be throwing those big hooks, that uppercut left hand. I know you, girl. I've been studying you. So I already know what she's got, and I already know what my weaknesses are. I'm very aware of that. I don't think I'm perfect at all. I know my weaknesses. I've been working on them. So she thinks she's catching me with what she's been studying. It's not true. I know me and her, it's going to be a war. I'm leaving that fight having to lick my wounds. I know that.
Well, again, you're saying it's going to be a war. That gets people more excited. BKFC.com.
It's going to be a war.
It's going to be great, man. Make sure you grab the app. $4.99 a month. You can't beat it. You see great live fights, all kinds of content. Calista Salgado versus Christine Ferea. We're very excited about the Misfit is back, and we're proud to have you on the show today. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much. We'll talk to her soon. Now, we have a lot more great stuff coming up. We're going to talk more announcements. We're going to talk the card coming up. We're going to talk shifts and moves in the last week, things we've seen. It's all here. And Rob, I feel like you've barely been on the show today, and it's hurting my feelings, and I'm sorry. I'm all jazzed up. I took a Sudafed, I had a coffee, and now I'm drinking a Tiger Life. It's crazy.
I love it, man. I'm just
sweating.
I'm reading the chat, man. They're blowing you up, blowing me up a little bit, saying that I got a fake beard. So I love it.
You have a perfect beard. It's not a fake beard.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess it's a compliment.
I think it looks nice.
Do they like Joe Schilling?
Yeah, what did they say about Joe? They were talking about Joe
A
Schilling.
little bit.
The people were into it. Oh, I took the wrong camera. Oops.
Oh, they're into Joe Schilling. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
they like it.
Cool. So maybe
like
that's something we check out now as we pause for the cause, as they say, and we do this, and we'll be right back to talk a lot more bare knuckle. Boom.
Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship brings the world's most exciting combat sport to Montana. Live Saturday, October 9th, it's BKFC Fight Night. In the main event, combat sports legend Joe Riggs collides with the always dangerous Melvin Gillard. Plus, watch other bare knuckle fights featuring Taylor Starling, Christine Ferea, Tom Schoaf, and many more. It's Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, Saturday, October 9th. Available on the Bare Knuckle TV app. Download it now at BKFC.com.
Tiger Life is not about race or religion, black or white, young or old, male or female. It's not about where you live or where you're from. It's about finding your why in life. Tiger Life is a way of life. It's a purpose, a light, the future. We all have a story to tell, so let's tell it. It's time to be heard. Just remember, we may not be able to rewrite our story, but we sure as hell can change the ending. Tiger Life. Energy never tasted so good.
And we're back. That's what Tiger Life does to you. I love it.
Love it, man.
So much stuff to continue to talk about here. You were just giving me hell, you and Dave, off the air, because this is why they don't tell me anything, because I leak it all the time. I leaked it. But I thought it made sense to leak it there, because we had to find out what Christine
for
thought.
sure.
Yeah, so what did I leak, Dave? You can give the announcement if you're just tuning in. Let me give you the drum roll, because we never got one.
You took it all away from me, Brian. Obviously, you already heard that Beck Rollins is officially signed. She's coming back. The Queen of Bare Knuckle, who Christine and some other girls will say the former Queen of Bare Knuckle. But the Queen of Bare Knuckle, Beck Rollins, is back. And Beck, we can't wait to have you back. I talked to her yesterday, working on her visa. She'll be back. It looks like she's going to fight on the December 4th card in New Mexico. We don't have an opponent for her yet, but we have. My mind's going. I think it's going to be very, very exciting.
Now, is this, to put you on the spot, is this a multi-fight deal? Is this a one-off, or what are we thinking is
It's it's a 2-year deal right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
buddy.
great. Lock her in, man.
Nice.
Well,
She's
I'm always excited when Nate and Dave start the smoke starts coming out their ears when they're thinking about things like this, and it's very exciting. So we're excited to see who she's going to fight. But my question is, we had talked about this earlier. If you're just tuning in, I thought that we had signed her like months ago. We announced it. What happened again?
I mean, it was just a mix-up with her manager. I thought that the contract was in. I mean, the agreement was there. He's a very honorable guy, Brian Butler. So, he's a good dude, and it was just wasn't sent back. But no big deal. It is now. She's signed. She's ready to go, and she's training hard.
Well, of course he's an honorable guy. His name's Brian. I mean, everyone with the Brian name is very honorable, very trustworthy, very knowledgeable. Am I correct, boys?
That's right.
Thank you.
Let's run down this division.
Let's get out of this.
Let's talk how deep this female division is.
Deep.
I don't think that people really understand. We have Christine, we just had on the phone. Rachel Ostovich coming off of a dominant win over Paige Van Zandt.
Those overhand rights.
And can't take anything away from Paige Van Zandt. She looked great. She looked great in there.
She fought.
Rachel was just better that night. Britton Hart, her evolution in the sport.
Proving herself, yeah.
Absolutely. We got Taylor Starling, who's on fire. Just spoke about Beck Rollins, who's signed to a multi-fight deal. Jocelyn Jones, we just announced yesterday. Pearl Gonzalez, I mean, wow.
It doesn't stop.
Wow.
And this is just off the top of your head. I mean, this is just, think about that. The talent that you're saying here, the amazing fighters you're saying off the top of your head, this is the division, and it gets better and better. It was red hot. It's white hot now. I'm actually excited because for the last few shows, we've been reading what you say. You've been upset there haven't been as many female fights. What do we have, 3 on this card coming up in Montana?
Yeah, and 2 of the newcomers.
Yeah, man. We got the debut,
Jade
too.
Wong, Crystal Pittman, much anticipated, man. I'm expecting fireworks from them, too.
Man, Crystal
Solid.
Pittman, I know people are excited because it's been like false starts for poor rugged beauty Crystal Pittman because every show I think she's going to fight on, it gets pulled. But this one, she's going to be there against Wong. And again, fireworks. I'm excited to see what she's got. We've seen her around. We've never seen her up in the mix, in the ring, though. So the squared circle, that'll be great. And when you're talking female fights, again, Christine Ferea, we just talked to her. Her opponent, Calista, I always say names wrong if they're foreign. I feel like an idiot. It couldn't just be Smith. No, it's Calista Salgado. I'm learning more about her, and she's definitely
Salgado.
I said that, didn't I? Salgado.
I don't know what you said.
I think it's anyway. Dave dragging the show backwards, pointing out my faults.
I just wanted to throw you.
I know you. That's what you do. You always do that to me.
Looking over at me
because I see he's making faces at me off camera. So that's going to be a good fight. Like I said, the research, I didn't really know a lot about her, but the research I've done, as Christine was saying, she's no slouch, man.
Yeah,
she's coming to fight.
Some champs.
And she goes the distance a lot of times with some major players. So that's going to
wins.
19
14
wins.
by knockout.
Think about that. 19 wins, 14 by knockout, as the Lord Evan Zentar just said.
She fought 3 or 4 world champions. I mean, she's been around. She's tough. She comes from a good camp right now. So, I'm expecting a great fight. But like we said, bare knuckle is different, right? When you get hit with the bare knuckle, it's all how you react the first time you get hit. If you react okay and you're good with it, I mean, you could be a beast in this. But a lot of people, so many people have folded.
So I used to ask that in a lot of the interviews with the newcomers, the debuters. Have you ever been hit with a bare knuckle? That was one of my stock questions. I still ask it from time to time, but it's always interesting. Like, I've been a fighter for years, and I respect that, but you're fighting with gloves on. It's completely different. And they think that it's not going to be that different, most of them, and then they get rocked. And you can see it when you're watching. Like, as the debut fights happen, watch their faces, watch their eyes when they get hit for the first time. It's always interesting to see how they react to that. And then you can kind of tell what the story may be of the fight after that. At least in my estimation, that's what I've seen. Another great fight, Taylor Starling. Everyone's loving Taylor Starling right now. She's one of the fastest rising stars in BKFC in my estimation, yeah. Randine Ekholm. We've seen her fight before as well. She didn't come out on top, but this is another fight for Taylor to prove herself and continue her ascent to the top if she can get past her. And if she can't, then we have to reconsider what's going on with Taylor, I would guess.
So Randine Ekholm fought Britton Hart prior to Britton Hart fighting Paige Van Zandt.
Yep.
She got beat up pretty good. She really did. She came up with her face really swollen, and the next day she called and said, "When can I come back?" So that tells me something inside of her, that she has something for this, and she probably made some twists and turns in training to prepare better for this. So I don't expect it to be a blowout like a lot of people are thinking. I think Randine Ekholm was really coming in to give it a good fight.
Yeah, you lick your wounds, you figure it out, and you know, that's how you scrape your knee, and then you have success. So maybe that could be the story for her. We'll see. But I'm going to put you on the spot. Rob usually does this. I'm going to do it, Rob. Can I do it? Can I do it? I'm putting you on the spot, Dave. So we saw Britton versus Randine. We saw Britton win. Now we're seeing Taylor versus Randine. If Taylor gets past her, I know that we may have a Knuckle Mania coming up. I don't know the date of it in the future. If that is Knuckle Mania 2, if we're going that route. I mean, she had her first amazing performance, Taylor, at Knuckle Mania. We saw that in her debut. Would we see Britton Hart Taylor? Could we see that at Knuckle Mania 2? It'd be a great spot for it.
You could. You know, we promised a women's tournament, and we're definitely aligning that this week. We're going to announce it on your next week's podcast.
There it is.
So
there it is. That's a surprise announcement.
We will, and that could be one of the fights. That could be one of the fights for the women's tournament at that time. We'll see, but that's going to be in a brand new state, in a brand new location. I can't say what state it is yet because it's not completely passed yet, but it's going to be. And I've been waiting for this state for 2 years right now. It's going to be amazing. I was so happy last night. So Knuckle Mania 2 will be February 11th in this brand new state. It's going to be an amazing show.
Well, I'm excited because, again, they didn't tell me anything because I'll leak it.
There it is. That's awesome.
But that's it. Thank you for that little exclusive we got there. So we're looking. What?
I'm just sorry, just because I'm thinking about, because I walked past the board going in here. Do you know that we're doing fights in 8 different countries next year?
I was looking at that on the board. Yeah, I saw. It's exciting, man.
Because we're doing some international rights deals, licensing deals. So we're not necessarily always going to be at all the events, but we're going to teach them how to run the shows, and then they're going to run the shows over there in these foreign territories. We have 50 shows slated next year. 50.
Wow.
It's just crazy because I think where we started, right? The first year was 3 shows. Second year was like 5 shows. But thinking about this, you know, leading up to where this was, and man, like, in our 3rd year of business, in our 4th year of business, it will be 3rd and a half year. We're going to do 50 bare knuckle shows around the world in 9 different countries, 8 foreign countries, and the United States. That's crazy.
Is that going to be the BKFC ring? Will be in these other countries?
Yep.
Oh, we have to get the ring there.
Are there any countries you can tell us, Mr. President? Nothing. Anything?
One.
Anything for the fans?
Russia.
UK. Mother Russia.
UK.
Sweden. I don't know how to do that one.
I just like the accents here.
Italy,
really?
Are you just throwing out countries?
Yeah, I think he's just throwing
man.
stuff out. This
on
is
there.
insane.
Are we? And we're gonna have the ring out there and everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Down under.
Down under.
Yep.
We're gonna be able to get to Australia.
Thailand.
The home of Beck Rollins.
Wow.
Going back to Thailand. I don't know. I can't remember the other 2 that are on that board, but
So this is funny because you can't remember the other 2. There's so many going on now as we climb to this, and this has been your dream. You can't even remember, and that's not a bad thing.
Because we're working with like 15
It's a
of
lot
them,
happening.
but a couple of them are concrete, so I put them on the board. And the ones that may happen, I mean, it could be more countries. You know what I mean? It just sees how this thing folds up, and the licensing deals work, and the rights deals works. So it's just amazing. Like I said, it's really truly amazing, man. That, you know, like in Russia, we're probably the most popular combat sport in Russia right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're more popular than anything else in Russia. It's crazy. We have 700,000 to 1 million live viewers at 5 a.m. because that's when our show airs.
Stay up for it.
At 5 a.m., 700,000 to 1 million viewers.
Lots of
That's
love. Big
crazy.
shout out to
Shout out to
anyone.
Russian.
Yeah, big
Yeah,
shout out to
Spasibo.
If I spoke
Spasibo
Russian,
Bolshoi.
if I spoke Russian, I would definitely give him a shout out. But I feel like David Hasselhoff is like the master of Germany when he goes and sings over there. He's like one of the Beatles. He's like the biggest thing in the world. That's us in Germany. I mean, excuse me, in Russia. So we're growing here, and we're excited to see where we're going to go next. And speaking about growing here, let's kind of pull back a little bit and remember debut. We haven't said it many times. We've been talking about the show, but debut in Montana, in Billings, Montana, for a BKFC Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship Fight Night, Montana. As we continue to roll out these new states, it's so exciting. We just debuted last month. There was another debut in Omaha, Nebraska, and you can feel it. You can hear it on TV too when you watch, but if you're there live, you can feel it come through your TV. Those fans are so hot and ready to go. So I can't wait to see what we're going to be doing in Billings, Montana with these fans going nuts because they're starved for it. They want bare knuckle in there. And when it becomes legal, they come out to it in droves. So we're excited to see what we're doing in Montana. I can tell you right now, the main event, Joe Riggs, Melvin Gillard. That's no small main event. We saw what Riggs did with Hector. A lot of people would argue that Riggs, in fact, was winning that fight.
Yeah, let's pause on that
Yeah.
because we got some comments that we're not giving any love to.
Oh, I didn't see.
To
Please.
Joe Riggs. Yeah, so the comments are Joe Riggs got fight got stole. Just a heads up to the the internet. BKFC has nothing to do with the rules and regulations, nor do they determine who the winner of a fight is. And put David
absolutely.
Feldman on the spot with that.
No, I'll
is
take
that,
it over
Is that
from
correct?
there. So the thing is we catch a lot of slack. Like for instance, when Houston Alexander got punched after or punched Wes Combs after he was knocked out, and they said, "What's BKFC doing? They suck. They do this. They do that." The thing is, we don't regulate. We don't license. All we do is make the matches, and then the state athletic commission approves. So that doesn't fall under our jurisdiction. Now we do have the ability to talk to them afterwards and try to push the envelope a little bit, and we did. And Houston Alexander got suspended and he got fined. So I mean, there are things that we can do, but we don't. The referees, like the judges, they don't work for us. They work for the state. So they're not our judges. Like it's like the BKFC judges are doing this. Well, they're not the BKFC judges. They're the Florida State judges. They're the Mississippi State judges. They're the Nebraska State judges.
So I flipped the hat backwards.
Are you going to arm wrestle me?
Yeah, no, I flipped the hat backwards because I honestly think it was a bullshit call. I think Joe Riggs won that fight. I think Melvin Gillard won his last fight. And having them fight in the main event, that's the fight to make.
No, I
Both
agree.
of them deserve those wins. Or
I
at
agree.
least, whenever the dust settles with these two, I'd like to see one of them take on Hector Lombard or whoever Hector Lombard fights next, if it's not Thiago Alvarez, which would be a really exciting fight, or the juggernaut himself.
We know the one people want to
Lorenzo Hunt.
see. Yeah.
Well,
The Juggernaut wants to see that.
I don't agree with you. I don't think that that Joe Riggs won that fight by any means.
What fight were you watching,
What'd you think,
man?
He was
close?
competitive in the fight, but he didn't win the fight.
Oh, so he had that. He had the win.
Let's throw it to the chat. I mean, what do they think?
He had the win.
What do they think in
Come
the chat?
on. Now, listen, I don't know what happened. Something happened with the tape. Cut his eye. Technicality. He couldn't continue. Could he have continued? Listen, man, we're not Joe Riggs, but if it ends like that, you hate to see a fight end like that. But I had him winning up to that. Joe Riggs looked great.
No.
He
Listen.
was
I'm not
great in
taking
that
anything
fight.
away from Joe Riggs. Always comes in as an unbelievable competitor, always and ready to fight. I mean, he trains his ass off.
Yeah.
He's always ready. And now he's got a really good challenge in front of him at a lighter weight. He had trouble making 205 pounds. Now this one's at 195 pounds.
Interesting.
So he's coming down in weight. Melvin Gillard's going up a little bit, but Melvin Gillard looks so he just looks so much different now. I think he's really dedicated himself. He's living clean. He's living right. He's training hard, and I'm really excited to see that fight. I mean, I know people go, he's fought so many years here. He fought so many years. That's great. Very experienced guys that know what it is. They're both probably two of the most experienced guys in bare knuckle fighting, period, all over the world. Yep. And they're fighting each other in the main event, so that's a great main event.
Yeah, legendary Joe Riggs, I always say, and Melvin Gillard. You never know what you're going to get with him. I mean, I wouldn't step in there with any of these guys, especially him. He's a dangerous dude, so it's going to be a great fight. I'm looking forward to that too. Also on that card, I'm looking forward to the Mustache Man, Tom Schoaf. That's not his name, but I call him that.
He's the most popular BKFC fighter on YouTube. Every one of his fights cracks 1 million views, if not more. Exciting. Everything is a war. He's coming off a tremendous knockout body blow win in his last event in Alabama. I can't wait to see this guy back in action, man.
I can't either. And the more I talk to Tom, the more I like him. The more we do interviews with Tom, the more I like him. And I've always said, it's been no secret, as you're watching him fight here, I think he is one of the most, watching his fights, it's one of the most, it's like art. It's one of the most beautiful fights you can watch in BKFC when Tom Schoaf fights. And if you look at him, there's this amazing picture. I think they might show it from the Joe Elmore fight. To me, that describes perfectly what bare knuckle is. If you see the picture, he punches Joe Elmore in the face. You've seen it. We've put it many times up there. But that describes bare knuckle. Shout out to Phil because that photo's awesome. But you got Tom Schoaf. He's really into it. He's training hard. This guy trains all day long, and he grew the mustache out to pay homage to the original bare knuckle guys. And he takes his mustache very seriously. He grooms it and makes sure it's coiffed nicely. But then, he gets serious in the ring too in the squared circle, and then there's problems, as we're seeing here on the screen.
His fights that he quote unquote loses, he's lost those fights. His stock did not go down.
Yeah, but the thing is,
his stock goes up.
No, he does. He does. You're 100% right. But I want to speak to that too. He said it when we interviewed him. A lot of the fights he lost are fights where he's changing his weight class. He's not fighting at a normal weight class he would be at. The Joe Elmore fight, you could see him getting frustrated.
Sure.
Every time he'd get knocked down by Joe Elmore, then he'd shake his head like, son of a bitch.
What's the weight at this fight?
He's in 155 for this fight.
Okay.
And I'm going to put it out there. If he wins this, I would like to see him fight Tyler Goodjohn because the chat was asking for it.
They were.
Tyler Goodjohn is 1-1.
Huh.
Tom Schoaf, if he comes,
Yeah, you probably won't
comes
see
on this.
that ever again.
No.
Oh no.
Nope.
What? You're not bringing Tyler back?
Nah, I don't really like him.
Really?
Nope, not at all.
Oh no.
Wow,
love
this
lost
got
for
real
that.
serious. This got
There
very
we go,
serious very
man.
quick. What's going on
Yeah,
here? Let's
this-
unpack this.
This interview just got real.
Look how angry he
Nah, man,
looks.
I mean,
Why do you look so angry?
I treated the guy right. I paid him right. I paid him way more than he's ever got before. He had problems getting his paycheck because of the delivery method that he gave us, and then he goes on social media and talks bad about the promotion. So, I mean, look, I'm not going to line people's pockets and give them an opportunity to blow themselves up, and they're going to talk bad about me or the organization. It's not going to happen. You know, I gave my blood, sweat, and tears, and we put a lot of money behind this thing to get this thing to be the fastest growing combat sport in the world. We treat the fighters right. All the fighters will tell everybody that we treat them right. We treat the fighters right, and you know, just not welcome here anymore.
Is there any chance that we can get you and Tyler on an interview? And I know you said that there's no chance. Maybe you can squash the beef. Listen, he's an exciting fighter,
He is.
but I get the behind the scenes things that would prevent him from fighting again. I would love to see it. The fans would love to see it. That's something that would be a great early
would you
Christmas
consider
gift
it?
for everybody.
Because now I'm asking too. Would you consider at all being on an interview with him or talking, trying to squash the beef, or do you
Listen,
care?
I don't run from anything. I have no problem talking to the guy. Look, like I'm not saying like I want the guy's a this or that. I'm just saying like I give them the opportunity. I give them the platform. I give them good money. So if I'm going to do that, and then they're going to go in and say that we didn't do this or we're shit, and he wants a release from his contract and he wants all this kind of stuff. If he wants a release from his contract, he can have a release from his contract. He can go back and fight for pennies.
All right. Well, there you heard it from Dave. I mean,
And
wow.
Didn't
Oof.
we have Good John on here a few months back, and him and Dave settled the beef once already?
We
I don't know
thought
if we
they
can do
settled it.
twice. Yeah.
They got a wonderful relationship, man.
Yeah,
This
it's
is like some
No,
days of our
look,
lives.
Good John
I
Feldman,
really
too.
I really did like the guy, and I liked the guy. I did. I
Yeah.
really did. But look, if someone's going to talk shit on me, I don't like it.
I would say it's akin to talking shit on your family. You've worked so hard. I've watched you work for the company. It's almost the same thing. You've worked so hard and put so much work into this. If he's going to do that to you, is that your thought process? Can you trust him again? Is that where you're at?
It's not even that. I mean, but look, they say fool me once, shame on me, and fool me twice, shame on you, or however they say that saying. And twice. 2 fights, and he's talked shit on me twice. So
Now, is this a UK thing? Because we had this issue with my
You
man.
You don't get along with UK fighters.
no, I actually do. I actually look. He again another guy that didn't get an opportunity to fight because he did something wrong. He went out and he partied and did what he had to do, and he got COVID and he wasn't able to fight, so he had to go back. Mark Godbeer, you're talking about,
Yes.
right? And Mark Godbeer called me. I was having some personal problems at the time, some personal issues with my family, and he called me, and I was pissed off. And I'm like, look, I saw you fight. You never saw me fight, so we can do this, Mark. I was just so mad. I was like, let's do this shit. So I don't know what it is with these UK guys. They don't like me. But at the end of the day, is I treat them right. We do have some another UK guy, Connor Tierney. I think he's fighting on the November 12th card. I'm not sure if that's the date or
Does
not.
he like you?
Hey,
Any
so
problems
far.
with him yet?
So far.
We're looking
far,
forward
so
to
good.
Connor. We're looking forward to see what Connor's up to. I've been following him on Instagram as well. And I think I feel really bad because we were talking about Tom Schoaf before we got into the Tom Schoaf fight. BKFC.com to grab that app. We have to mention his opponent. Josh Wright is his opponent. This is a guy that is a debuter. I believe we found him at tryouts. I've heard a lot of positive stuff about him. So I'm looking to see, as Dave has said, you've said it, I've said it many times, the debuters come in and they want to prove themselves. So these guys are usually, and women too, are usually some of the most exciting fights because it's their first time in and they want to prove themselves to us, to BKFC organization, and to you. So I'm excited.
You beat Tom
We'll see.
Schoaf on your debut.
You're proving yourself.
You've proven yourself.
I agree.
Oh, man,
You want to earn some
absolutely.
fans? You beat Tom Schoaf on your debut.
Oh man,
that's a
if that
challenge
had-
right there.
Oh man, you just went up like 10 pegs. If you
Hell
beat Tom
yeah.
Schoaf on your debut, you did something special. Absolutely, I agree with you 100% there. Yep.
So let's see what this guy's got. I'm always excited to see the new blood coming in, especially against a grizzled vet with like amazing mustache like Tom Schoaf. So that's going to be exciting. There's a lot of great stuff in the card. Is there anything else you're really excited about I didn't touch on?
Both newcomers. We talked about it a little bit. Jade Wong, Crystal Pittman.
Yep.
Crystal Pittman is, I've said it before. I got my stock in her. I think that's a win.
You
in her
are
belt
riding
right
high
there.
on her. You always say, put her in with this girl. I'm like, she hasn't fought yet. And you're like, it doesn't matter. So yeah, you're riding high on her. And
she
look,
looks-
I mean,
hey, look, and the reason
she
why
trains hard, she does her thing. So
does train hard.
I'm really looking forward to seeing her.
the
fight.
reason why I say that is Taylor Starling went the distance with Segala.
Yeah.
Because she looked hesitant. Her next fight, Cassie Robb, she just went right in, just swarmed her. And that was the strategy, and it worked extremely well for her. And that's what I see in Crystal Pittman. Her strategy is just going in fast, demolishing her. And
No,
I see that
kind of
happening.
agree with you, Rob. You know, I don't care who was standing in front of Taylor Starling that night. Just the style of fight that she came in prepared for and the way that she fought, I think she would have given anybody in the world problems that night.
I agree. I mean, I'm excited for all these fights. I'm excited to break them down with you guys before and afterwards, and also with the audience as we do that live. We appreciate you as well. Any other fights you want to get to that I didn't mention that you're very excited
Not
about?
from Montana, man. I think we got a couple other announcements.
Yeah, I'll let you do the next one.
I don't have it on my notes right now, Brian.
Oh, man.
So I'm going to
He's
throw it back
throwing
to you.
announcements out there.
Now, David Rickles,
That
the
was-
caveman, is back, and he's fighting none other.
Oh, can I say who's fighting? Because I'm looking forward to this fight. Dave Rickles, the caveman, versus Let Me Bang, bro! Julian Lane. That's going to be an awesome fight. I think that fight's going to be awesome.
Julian Lane gets better every fight. Speaking of Tom Schoaf, they went the distance. But Julian Lane's last fight was with Boswick. I mean, he really annihilated him. He looked smooth. He looked like he was gliding on ice on that fight. His shots were precise. He didn't take a lot of damage. So that is main event caliber. I am looking forward to that.
Me too. You got the caveman coming back. That'll be good too. And, you know, I always say this, and you have to give him credit. I feel like I'll say this till the day I die. Julian Lane and Thiago Alves taking that fight on no notice hardly and standing up, going to a decision, and people arguing they may have won that. I always hang my hat on that when I talk about Julian Lane, because that's pretty incredible to me. The guy loves to fight. He comes ready, but so does the caveman. So it's going to be exciting to see him. And that's in Wichita, Kansas, which is the caveman's territory. That's his home, man. That's where
backyard, man.
Yeah, so the crowd's going to be insane.
What's the date?
The date on that is, I don't know. Let's put it up
October
on the screen.
22nd. We also have Nico Hernandez's brother is making his debut on that card.
I didn't know
Really?
that.
Yep.
I didn't know
You guys
that.
we got to make graphics. Everybody else is going to put it out before us. Jeremy, if you're listening, Jeremy, we need a
October
graphic.
22nd, Wichita, Kansas. And then, you know, I don't want to take your shine. And then we're moving
Please
to
do.
November 6th, New York.
Yeah, let's talk about New York. New York's going to be an amazing time for us. Yeah, I want to wake up in a city that never sleeps. We're not in the city, though. We're going to be in New York State. It's going to be awesome.
Schenectady, man.
Yeah,
It's
I
gonna
can
be
never
awesome.
say it right. Yeah, I was trying
I
to
don't
do
even know if I
voiceovers.
said it right.
I was trying
No,
to
it's
do voiceovers.
Salamanca.
Yeah, you're way off.
Yeah.
Salamanca.
Salamanca, isn't it? The alligator.
Salamanca.
You know where we're at.
Schenectady.
I hope
Where
I
are
said
you
it right.
I don't know. Is that even
Does
in
that
New York?
exist?
But look, I know who the main
Canada?
I know who the main event is, and that's main event caliber.
It sure
that's
is, dude.
championship right there.
And that's quite frankly, looking at it on paper.
Do you know Arnold Adams?
You talking to me, Dave? Do I know Arnold Adams? I could reenact that, but I might have to change my trousers. I might have to change my pants like I did last time. He came out of nowhere. Arnold, I do know him very well. The first ever BKFC champion versus the current heavyweight champion of the world for BKFC. And we're really looking forward to that for numerous reasons. And if you look at it on paper, when you just look at the fight, you know, Joey's a tough dude. We've seen it. Joey can take shots. Arnold, man, this might be one of his biggest challenges he's had since he's held that title.
Don't forget, guys, rematch.
I know.
This is a rematch.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We've seen what's happened in the past. So for Joey, he's going to come in. We thought he was dropped weight. He looked great last time for his last fight. Think about what he's going to come and look like. He's got to be prepared for this time.
He's like the Iron Man. No
Sure
matter
is.
how much you hit him, he just keeps moving forward. And he just wears his
care.
opponents down.
doesn't care.
man.
It's
He
funny,
does
man.
not
I was
care.
really
War of
thinking
attrition.
about this fight last night because I'm saying to myself, I'm saying, look, Arnold Adams, I thought beat him fairly easy in the first fight. He's probably just going to beat him easy in the second fight. And then I go, wow, man, we got a way different Joey Beltran.
different.
This guy not only transitioned how he trained, but he transitioned the style of training. He's all boxing right now. I mean, he's doing everything. So, and as we know, Joey Beltran is like the Energizer Bunny. He just finds a way to win every single time. But then you got Arnold Adams, who I had a talk with and said, look, they don't want to see the boring-ass fights that you were doing. And he came out and started blowing guys out. So I don't know. I'm excited as a fan. Again, as you guys know, I'm a real fan of
We
this.
see.
As a fan, I can't wait to see this fight.
I think the production should just put a camera on you at ringside and just go to you from let you break it on the commentary with some of the stuff you're yelling. That would be very entertaining because you are a big fan.
No,
watching
we'd probably
this
get
stuff.
shut down. man.
We would never. Yeah, we'd be done. They'd kick us off the
We'd be
app,
done.
our own app. We'd have to be
Goodbye.
kicked off. But no, we're very much looking forward to that. A lot of great stuff coming up with BKFC, and you know, if you look at that fight also with Arnold and Joey, a lot to prove here on both sides. You know, Joey's going to come in wanting to avenge that loss, and you know, like you said, Joey's a completely different person. He still has the same toughness. He changed not only how he trained, where he trained. He was in Miami. And the last time I talked to Joey, I brought up the fact that people were saying, look, we see all this stuff, on social media with you and Britain, and now they're married and everything, and they're spending a lot of time together. And they were wondering, did that take, the anger out of you when it came to fight? Some people were saying, is he too much with his wife? Is he too much? Is he too happy now? And he was laughing about that. He's saying, look, if I fought angry or fought how I was and I was dangerous, he goes, I'm happy now. I have nothing bothering me. They're training partners. Does that enter the equation? He's happier at home. He's got a different life. He's got a different support system now. There's so much to unpack with this fight. And as we get closer to it, we'll examine that stuff. I'm looking forward to it.
Iron sharpens iron. He is training with Diaz brothers. They're coming off of a win.
Hector's there too, I think.
Hector is fighting there. His wife is fighting there. They're all coming off of wins. That's no fluke. They've got a great facility.
Boxer's awesome. I've been there a couple times.
Great facility, and we got some killers coming out of there. So, it's something to look forward to.
You're in Miami. It's a sweat box, but it's a beautiful one. And you go in there. I do too.
Probably my favorite gym.
I love going to that gym.
I just love the vibe there. It's really awesome.
It's just high energy.
Boxer, it's BOXR, just so you know if you want to look it up.
It's really cool. It's Miami, and you go. I've been there with Evan before to film stuff.
More than once.
Yeah, it's really wonderful. I mean, you're going down the street, you're not even sure, and then you see. I think they built a ring outside now. I believe too.
They got a whole outside area.
Wow.
Hector took us to breakfast.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Hector.
I'm actually going down to Miami next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm meeting with them because they're actually moving facilities to I think they said it was like a 60,000 square foot facility.
Wow. It makes sense.
What's that? An Amazon warehouse? What do you need 60,000?
That's insane.
Huge. It's huge. They're actually going to do live fights there. They're going to actually have They're going to be the first gym with the BKFC ring in there. So
this sounds like the beginning stages of Gold's Gym Venice, the mecca of bodybuilding, and this sounds like it's going to be the mecca of bare knuckle fighting champion. Produce some really amazing talent.
What's Gold's Gym?
I don't know now. I haven't touched a weight in about 3 years.
Look, he got to it before someone else did. He insulted himself. That's the way to do it.
I got it, man.
That's
I got you guys.
But I mean, I can tell you this. I'm sure Evan would agree, Dave as well. From the times I've been down there, from about a year ago when I started going down with you guys, I have seen the development every time we go down that gym. You see more people there. You see more excitement there. They're like a true family. So excited to see what kind of athletes they're going to produce, what kind of fighters. And did I hear that right? You're going to have the bare knuckle ring in there?
Yeah. Yep.
So we get another ring, or they're going to use the show ring? How's that going to work?
No. We're actually building a bunch of rings. We're doing this with a bunch of different partners around the country. They're going to be a BKFC trained facility. They won't just train bare knuckle fighting, but they'll train boxing and some mixed martial arts. But they will be a bare knuckle fighting championship.
That's incredible.
Facility.
That's incredible. I know ATT was trying to do something like that. They had a little bare knuckle thing going on, but this is going to be on another level as far as having the ring.
We're actually going to put a ring in there as well.
Oh wow, Dan Lambert, thank you. That'll be awesome.
I don't share everything with you, Brian.
Yeah,
we get all the great announcements
on the air.
Yeah, we try to suck for the fans as much information as we can. Some really cool stuff.
Well, Dave, didn't you just take a trip down to ATT? You dropped off the belt.
title.
I did. Actually.
That was awesome.
You got a Brandon, find a picture.
So there is ATT. When you walk in their main facility in Coconut Creek, it has all the really big championship belts there, the Bellator, UFC, and PFL championship belts, and we just became, in good company. We have a BKFC belt.
The first one there.
In that case, the first one ever. Thiago Alvarez's belt. It is sitting there at the ATT home facility in Coconut Creek, Florida. It was really a great honor. It was a great honor for me to give it to them, to present it to them, and for them to be able to have it up there. So when people go in that great facility with some of the best fighters in the world, BKFC is now part of that.
And I'll say that most people watching this probably haven't been there. You don't get to just walk in there easily. I've had the honor of going in there. It is a beautiful facility. The other thing that they put up I thought was really cool, and Thiago seems so proud of it, and as well he should be. Not only the title, but they have these enormous pictures of all these champions too. Mm-hmm. And it looked like they put a huge picture up of Thiago as well. So ATT, thank you. We appreciate that, and we're going to see kind of where that goes from here. The relationship has been great. So Dan Lambert, we appreciate you as well. Here's some footage of it. There it is, the BKFC title belt.
Amongst all the other greats.
There it is.
Wow.
And I think we close out on today's show with a couple of chat questions. I'm just, researching them right now. A couple of questions right now, mostly tournament related, Dave. So we're going to put you on the spot. When will there be a 165-pound belt or 185-pound tournament?
So we actually just talked about that the other day. We're going to focus on 165 and 185 now because we're signing a lot of guys for those. So it'll probably be at the beginning of the year. Probably won't be on the Knuckle Mania card. Could be on the January card, which will be in another new state. definitely the beginning of 2022, we'll focus on those two, and we're also going to open up the women's 115-pound division then. Not open it up, but open it up for a tournament as well. So we got a lot of really good things cooking for the beginning of next year. You know, it's tough. I mean, we don't have a lot of fighters in a lot of these different weight classes. We have a lot of fighters in certain weight classes and some we don't. But we're adding to the roster. We're trying to equal that out so we can, you know, crown a champion in every weight class, because everybody wants to see a good championship fight. And I think, you know, by mid next year, we're going to have all the champions lined up in the women's and men's division, and it's going to be amazing.
All right, 2 more. Same question.
But just want to add on, we're going to be truly world champions, because as I told you, we're opening up in 8 different countries. So all of those people are going to be eligible to fight for
that's going to be
championships.
exciting.
No, that's huge. And I've said that for a while now, that we need to call ourselves, you know, world champions. Like Joey should be the bare knuckle fighting championship heavyweight champion of the world, because I knew this was coming and I knew we'd be opening up. And we are the biggest, I'm tooting our own horn, the biggest bare knuckle organization out there. So why not be the heavyweight champion of the world?
We're the
gonna be
only
doing the
bare
travel.
knuckle organization.
The only one that matters.
All right, I'm sorry. I lied.
Like that?
Last 3 questions. I'm going to put them in a pretty simple order for you. First one, Indiana. Are we coming to Indiana? Do you have anything on the radar? We have Detroit. A lot of great fighters come out of Michigan, man. Detroit.
Josh
And
Burns.
the
Josh
third
Burns,
and
right.
final question, this is probably your hardest and probably what, you know, digs you the deepest. When are we open Pennsylvania, our hometown? So in that order. And I think Pennsylvania will
We're
be the
about to
fire,
get
and we're going to
good.
close out on
I
that
could be
one.
fire on PA.
Indiana, we are in talks with Indiana. Chris Lytle's in there, and he's trying to handle that one. That's where Chris Lytle is from, and he's our guy. We're pushing the envelope there. Michigan looks like it's going to be the closest one to open up. That should open up by the end of 2021. So we will be in Michigan early next year. And Pennsylvania, you know, Greg Serb is the he's the executive director of the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission. You know, it seems that he had a personal grudge against me and my family for years, but he seems to be loosening it up now. He understands that, you know, he thought that this was another tough man contest, just another fly-by-night organization, and he sees now that he has to pay attention now. You know, I said that for years, and I wasn't being cocky, but just from the hard work and all the time I put into it, I said, look, soon a lot of these people are going to have to pay attention. They're not going to have a choice. They're not going to be able to push it away. So, and it's not just me. It's other. There are some other good bare knuckle organizations. I was joking by saying we're the only. We're not the only, but there are some good ones out there, and all of us we deserve a shot. I mean, we have statistics now. We presented at the Association of Ringside Physicians last weekend. That is the ringside physician committee of all the best ringside physicians in the country that represent every state, and the reception that we got from all the ringside physicians, all the main doctors that govern combat sports in the United States, were blown away by the studies that Dr. Don Musi put, that we have less injuries than boxing or MMA. So if we have less injuries than boxing or MMA, we're exciting as hell. We're selling out places, and we're doing crazy, crazy numbers on the app. Why wouldn't you want us? If you don't want us, it's a personal grudge. It's a personal vendetta, and that won't be allowed in the United States anymore.
No. And
Hey, Dave, for people that don't know, do you want to explain that it is an approval process? You have to go state to state and kind of, you know,
Oh,
get
yeah,
permission from the
absolutely,
state?
absolutely, Evan. So what we have to do is, you know, some states have the authority just in their athletic commission to say, okay, thumbs up, vote you in. They bring the board together, they vote you in, and you're in. Other states, you have to go through the legislative process where you have to change the rules and regulations, because it is a governmental agency, and it is a rule or regulation or a law inside that agency, and has to go up the legislative ladder to change that. But some of them have the authority. They all have the authority to push. All the commissioners have the authority to kind of sway a little bit, like say, we want this or we don't. And, you know, the thing that Greg Serb said in the past was, he said that the medical board will never go for it. So if the medical board doesn't go for a safer combat sport, then they're not out for the athletes. So he can't give me that bullshit excuse anymore. So it's either he's going to do it or he's not. And if he's not, you know, maybe he'll be out soon. You know, he keeps saying he's going to retire, and, you know, he's put a lot of time and effort and some great years into the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission. And, you know, when he rides off into the sunset, maybe the next commissioner, you know, it's really like, I need to be in Pennsylvania. Like, this is crazy that we created this monster right now. It's awesome, and I can't do it in my home state. It's a sin. I think it's messed up.
It is messed up. I have a question, though, as far as when you get these states legalized, and we're seeing more and more becoming legalized, we're making our debut across the country. Do you feel that when you go in with the ammunition that this state made us legal, as it starts rolling, has it been easier to get stuff legal? Are other states looking and saying, okay?
So the two big things that happened were the bare knuckle boxing committee that was formed at the Association of Boxing Commissions, and this ARP, the Association of Ringside Physicians. So those two coupled together, coming together, and us having the data and the studies that we have less injuries, that's really what's opening the doors. Not necessarily that we go, oh, we're over here, and they go, okay, well, now we'll open up. Now I say, look, we have a committee with the Association of Boxing Commissioners that governs all combat sports throughout the country, and we have all the studies that show that we are definitely no more dangerous than boxing or MMA. So now it's time, and now they are going, wow, we're hearing a lot about you. We're seeing that you're selling out places, so let's give this a shot and let's open it up. Look, it's so integral for the growth of the sport worldwide that these other states open up, and they are. It's crazy because I think we will be legal in 20 states by the end of 2021. Great. And we could be probably legal in 40 states by the end of 2022, but we won't have enough time to do all those shows, so we'll probably be legal in like 30 states by the end of 2022.
That's incredible. And I know you mentioned other bare knuckle organizations, and if I needed somebody to lead the charge for me as far as getting legalized, I've seen how hard you work and how hard this organization works, so you'd be the guy. So we're excited to see where else we can debut legal. It's so exciting to debut these states. I love doing it.
Like I always say the team, right? I always do in all my interviews. I go the team. We got an unbelievable team, not necessarily including you two guys, but not really. We got an unbelievable team. We got Dr. Don Musi, president of the Association of Ringside Physicians. We got Sean Wheelock, who's now on the bare knuckle fighting board, who was on the MMA rules committee. We have Tommy Sconza. Those three guys together compiling all this data and pushing these states. They understand that these guys are very, very legitimate people, and they're helping us open up these states. So thank you to our teammates there. I mean, they're really, really pushing this for us.
Yeah, the three guys you just mentioned, I can tell. I mean, you talk to them; they're fans of combat sports. They've been around, but I do feel like bare knuckle and the growth has almost a special place in their minds, in their hearts. They seem to really, really love it here with bare knuckle. So I'm excited as they're leading the charge as well. I mean, this is going to be awesome to see what happens next, Rob. I mean, it's going to be cool.
It is, and of course you're going to have the stigmata when you hear bare knuckle fighting.
Like really, they always go,
"What is it, a bar fight? Is it
no, they always go,
so no rules."
Every time they go, yeah, I work for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, and then they go, what's that? And I go, it's like bare knuckle fighting, like. And they go, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of like boxing without gloves, even though it's not. That's how I have to explain it. And they go, like bare knuckle?
Isn't it crazy that we have to explain it? Like it's so funny, but because the name is bare knuckle fighting, but everybody goes, "What's that?"
And you go,
"I don't know. It's chess."
It's a whole 5-minute dialogue you got to go on. When I'll be with my girlfriends.
But it's good. It gives us the opportunity to explain it.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, "Well, what do you do?" I'm like, "Well, I work for a boxing promotion, but it's bare knuckle, and then it's a whole 5-minute thing on explaining how it all works."
So you work for a fighting promotion, Evan?
I just say, well, that's the thing. You have to tell them.
What should we say?
Tell them it's like unprotected sex and you took off the condom. I think
that'll go over well with my girlfriend's parents. Thanks, Rob.
Well, I mean, the analogy works.
Who wants to bring Rob home?
Sex.
You want to bring Rob up in the chat?
All right, let's
Rob,
wrap
not
it up
this
here.
week. I don't want to hear that this week, buddy.
And we can spin off that. We're going to wrap the show up here.
Before this gets insane, I agree with the Lord himself. Let's wrap this up. They're going to cue like the music where they usher us out and we'll get out of here. I'm going to put up the Tiger Life. I'm going to say cheers. Have a great week. Thanks for hanging out. BKFC.com. Grab the app. We'll see you next week. Until then, thanks for coming on, Dave.
Take care.
Knuckle up.
Like, comment, subscribe.